Hello and welcome everybody. We're back with more Hunter. Genesis, why don't you get us with our recap?
Yeah, sure. So, the last time we saw our magnificent bastards, we had continued our exploration of the warehouse, this monster-ridden trap that Jesper had prepared for us as we searched it for a hostage contained within Claire Victor's touchstone. And things had been going reasonably well at this point, until the slugs infesting this warehouse decided to turn on the attack. A particularly large slug, which had been knocked off of the catwalk by Cecil, decided to blast Nathan with a horrendous attack. And at the same time, a mysterious hooded cloaked figure also attacked Nora with the same blast. And as the dust sort of settled and Nora had come to her senses, the mysterious figure had disappeared. And following the destruction of the particularly large slug, the gunshot sort of drew the attention of the rest of the party, who all sort of reconvened, and moving on from that, we pushed on collectively to explore sort of the last little corner of this warehouse. And to our surprise, we did actually find the hostage. We found Claire gagged and bound in a room at the back of these offices. And as we prepared to enter this room to rescue Claire, we had, I should say specifically, Nora had an uncomfortable encounter with another one of these slugs. And as she attempted to kick it away, it decided to respond in kind and blasted her yet again, this time knocking her near to the point of death, and she passed out from the blow and began to bleed out. And from this, things more or less deteriorated rapidly. This distraction provided opportunity for Jasper, our cell's rival hunter, now turned slasher, using the monster's attack to sneak up upon Victor and put a gun to the back of his head. And as this was playing out, that mysterious hooded figure that had attacked Nora makes another return from the other end of the hallway, trapping our unfortunate cell between a rock and a hard place. And with this, Victor attempts to buy a precious few seconds trying to get Jasper's attention, long enough to buy some amount of time, and he does just enough time for Rick to line up a shot that absolutely obliterates Jasper's arm and sends him reeling. And as this happens, Cecil sort of runs into the room to try and rescue this hostage, and the mysterious figure draws closer, and Victor approaches Jasper, intending to finish the job, but he's decided to deny us the pleasure and activates a poison pill hidden within his mouth and takes his own life, leaving the rest of us to deal with arguably the more pertinent threat, this slug monster lurking about the warehouse. And Victor attempts to turn himself into the bait and draw this creature's attention while some of the cell goes to rescue Claire. Vanessa decides in a split second to grab Nora and rushes her out of the building, paying no heed to this monster standing in our midst, and manages to get her outside and begins first aid. And while this is happening, Cecil attempts to rescue Claire, to get her out of the building, but it becomes apparent that there's a bit more to this scenario. Some sort of device has been strapped to her, as Cecil learns when Claire actively resists her rescue. And using the distraction that Victor buys, the rest of the cell attempts to disarm this device, while also trying to avoid the attention of this creature. And the distraction does buy a bit of time, though, at some cost to Victor, who is hit by one of this creature's attacks. But the second that the group disables this device and brings Claire out of this safe room, it immediately turns its attention back towards her, and a desperate fight slash escape ensues as our cell attempts to get Claire out of the building and deal with this creature that is remarkably ignoring all of our bullets that we are pumping into it, and does quite a number on us in return. But we are thankfully saved in the nick of time as this creature is attempting to grab Claire, to drag her away to whatever grim fate it has in store for us. We are heralded with the beautiful clinking noise of Vanessa running back into the building, who throws herself head first into this creature and manages to buy us the time and the opportunity to get Claire out of the building. And although Vanessa is fully intent on pummeling this thing until there is perhaps nothing left, Victor narrowly manages to convince her that this thing cannot be killed by conventional means, and somehow, against all odds, we manage to make it out of this death trap alive and intact. Well, for the most part.
Yes, for the most part. Now,
I think some people... Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, we're going to pick back up with everybody having arrived to the helicopter in whatever condition they happen to be. Pretty sure Vanessa, on her way back out, grabs Nora and lifts Nora up.
Probably unconscious from all the stress of it, and getting slimed.
Slimed and tentacled.
Mm-hmm. There's like the Nickelodeon's Kids Wards in there. It's horrifying.
Quick question: the weird magic thing that hit me, was that? Because I don't remember. Was that more of like a shrapnel piercing effect, or was it more like being bludgeoned with like magical ball bearings of a sort? Am I bleeding or am I bruised?
You're bleeding.
Cool.
Yes, this would be more of a piercing effect that this had.
Okay. And then those who got hit by the slugs, they're like very badly bruised,
yes.
Right? Like massive, like body-wide bruising.
Yes.
Internal bleeding.
Yeah, which is even better. Cool. So as soon as everybody's on board, helicopter up. And this time, since like people are hurt, I'm gonna look at Nate and be like, do we need to be at a hospital, or
Just got out of the goddamn hospital.
and I kind of point at Nora, and I'm like, does she need like real medical care, or can we take care of her?
I look at the incredibly bruised body that is Nora, and I'm like, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I know she's messed up, but well, is there something a doctor can do in the next 4 hours that will save her life versus if we take her somewhere and have a doctor brought in?
I'm not a doctor. How would I know?
That's why I'm talking to the medic.
Here? I hit things, and I hit things good.
I didn't ask you anything. I'm talking to the medic.
Yeah, that would be me. So, so looking at Nora and looking at the first aid that's been done to her, I think she definitely is going to be needing a hospital, at least if you want that bone to set right.
Well, you could also give me a intelligence plus medicine here.
Absolutely.
Rick's like, yeah, but does she need a hospital like in a couple of hours, or do I need to land on the roof again? That's really what I'm getting to here.
Let's make this roped because reasons. What? Oh, the wound penalty kills me.
Oh. But rote, right?
That's rote.
What? Oh,
No,
crap.
it's not.
It's not?
It doesn't say that it is.
If that was right, you'd roll the 4 dice again.
It only
It says D10
wait.
RO greater.
Oh no, that is right. He just has so little dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's only got 2 dice, so it
two,
it ended up rolling 4. Yeah.
So,
His head's not completely in the game because he got hit too.
she looks good. Like, I mean, it looks like Vanessa did enough. She's out of the woods. She's not gonna die.
I mean, yep, surprisingly good wrappings there. I like that. So.
It's good job. I like that. Yeah.
I approve of the shade. You just do it at wrappings.
She appears to be good enough right now.
So like, okay, and as like Rick is like stepping across, there's like a trail of blood being left like under his feet, and it doesn't look like it came from the bruised person. And he kind of walks up to the front as the pilot's like just kind of moving back towards London in general. I'm like, home, take me home. And then
Anybody with a view of the outside, roll me a perception check.
Sure.
I imagine there's probably a couple of screens with cameras to be able to see underneath.
Oh wait, that's still rote. Hold on.
Because without that, people in the cabin probably don't have a view of underneath, with the exception of like a couple of windows or something.
No successes.
Perception is what? Wits and composure, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sheet roll, normal, submit. 2 successes.
Wound penalties suck.
Wouldn't know.
So, Rick and Victor here.
I got 2 successes.
Yeah, and I was gonna say yours had got pushed off my screen. And Vanessa, you all notice Oliver trying to flag you guys down as you guys are taking off.
Shit. I'm just gonna I'm gonna like open my phone, or I'm gonna pick my phone up and just look at the camera of my phone and be like, give me a call, what do you need? And just like looking into the camera of my phone, because now he's told us that they can see through cameras and stuff. I'm like, just call me. Like, you don't, why are you waving flags? Call. Just, like, I know you have my number, just call. We got injured people here. No?
Victor can hop off of the helicopter and
yeah, I imagine like it's spinning up and like starting to raise up. And I'm like, fuck, just hover for a second. Just hover. Shit.
like you guys take care of that. I'll deal with this. And he kind of like hops off of the helicopter and like clearly not in like great shape himself. He took a good deal of lethal damage, and it is probably not looking very great to have a a conversation with a federal agent, given that his like attire is like completely like shredded and slimed at this point. There's a certain degree of decorum that has vanished that Victor is dearly missing.
If you're hopping off, I'll grab like I'm gonna sit in the co-pilot seat, and I'll grab like a little like box radio or something, and I'll toss to you. Like, talk to us if you need us. We're gonna get her somewhere and call a doctor in. Do you need me to send you a car, or you got it?
I can figure something out. Thank you.
Okay. Take them up, and we'll beat off and leave. That was bad phrasing. We'll leave Victor there. I'm thinking like boop, 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 like the beating of the. No, okay, yep. I'm gonna leave that one alone now.
So we're gonna focus on this conversation first before we deal with the people in the chopper. As you kind of step off, go ahead and roll me wits plus empathy here just to get an immediate read on the situation.
All right. What's empathy? Oh,
Ow.
5 successes. Exceptional.
All right.
Ooh,
Take the condition.
you get the inspired thing, right?
So, there's no other way I can honestly phrase this sentence. Oliver's pissed. He is absolutely, without a doubt, probably the angriest that he's ever been in his life. As he kind of walks up to you, he sticks a finger in your chest and he goes, "I told you to wait for me, damn it. I told you that I was going to be point on this, and then you run off acting like some sort of maverick."
I'm sorry, Oliver. Things just got a little bit out of control, and he'll say this, and he kind of like starts, like unbuttoning like the top of his suit jacket, like trying to look a little more presentable. Like hopefully there's a little more of like the shirt underneath to look just slightly more presentable, and kind of just toss this probably now obviously ruined but ludicrously expensive suit aside. The situation is under control.
You call this under control?
The man that you are looking for is dead. I mean, you and your boys are more than welcome to see for yourselves.
You really don't have any clue what you've done.
Oh, please. We did not kill him. He had no intent on surviving this encounter. Your query of investigation, he had elected to activate some sort of, I couldn't tell you the chemical, some sort of poison, and deemed it necessary to take his own life. I admit I am perhaps a bit saddened that I couldn't take a more active role in his demise, but there is a certain delicious irony of when the trash takes itself out.
None of your words seem to have alleviated Oliver's anger here. He kind of spits on the ground in a very vulgar manner. And he goes, he was the only lead we had. And you let him waste himself, essentially. Even if he did have some cliche cyanide tooth or whatever, there's ways to stop that crap from happening. But of course you wouldn't know any of that because you don't have the proper training.
And you would have never made it 10 feet into that building. You and your team would have been eviscerated.
Yeah, little child.
No, I don't think you understand this. This is completely out of your depth. You and your little agents like to hunt, what is it, serial killers? Me and my men, my team, we hunt actual monsters, things that you can't even comprehend. You know what? You and your men, go in there, see for yourselves. Have a look around. See what we deal with. See what our Vigil is like.
I got a question. Have they entered that building? And do we still have that dead switch?
I have it,
Oh, you got it. I thought.
but we don't know where the actual explosives are.
It could solve a lot of problems. It's, a bit of a risk, but.
So,
But if it doesn't kill the thing, then it's loose.
Oh, I wasn't talking about killing the thing.
I'm just saying, like, if the explosives are in the interior and it blows out the ward without killing the thing, we turn it loose. Can't
I
turn
was
it
talking
loose.
about killing Basco with it. If they're in there.
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? Like, we let a monster
Yeah,
loose, but we kill Basco.
I mean, we could
To be
use
fair,
that.
we also have no idea if the explosives are in there.
Yeah, that's what
That's
Vanessa's like.
going on a really far limb.
Yeah, we're on the chopper, and Vanessa's like, if they go in there, we could blow up Basco. And Rick's like, we could maybe blow up Basco. We could also maybe blow up, like, Nathan's house. We don't know. So, let's not.
So, Victor. I would say if you didn't get an exceptional success, this would be a sucker punch. But because you are so in tune with how he's feeling right now, what's your defense?
Let's see here. Defense of hold on. My thing is not calculating right. Yeah, okay. It said 4, but it should be 6. It reset me from weaponry to athletics for some reason. But it's 6.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having to math here.
Oh,
That's hard.
Ooh.
Spend willpower, did he?
Spend willpower and area of expertise. Brawl. So he swings at you. You were kind of anticipating, with the amount of anger that he was sharing, that you were somewhat prepared for him to at least take one swing at you.
And managing, anticipating, avoiding that blow, Victor was kind of reassert himself a little bit and say, does that make you feel in charge, powerful, a sense of authority? Do you feel in control of this situation? Because I don't think that's how you regain control of this situation.
Okay, that's a failure.
Hey,
Oh, man, I love Victor.
That's a failure on the composure roll. And it's at this point that you do see his unit, his cell, as it were, start to come up from behind him. And then his suit is not as expensive as yours was. However, his suit is still intact. So he kind of adjusts his suit a little bit, adjusts his tie, kind of brushes the hair out of his face a little bit, and he goes, I certainly feel in charge now. As his unit comes up behind him. With that, we're going to put a pin in this and go to the chopper. So outside of your little bit of a escapade with trying to talk Vanessa out of releasing the dead man's trigger.
We don't even know where the bomb is.
hey, we'll find out.
I can find out. We just need to take this thing home.
Is the chopper actually on the way there?
Yeah, I imagine like Victor made it seem as though like he wanted us to kind of go on. He'd handle this and find his own way home. And with Nora either unconscious or in a great deal of pain, I think we'd go ahead and head somewhere and like call ahead and get like one of those like expensive private house call doctors.
One that won't ask any questions and is more than happy to accept a bunch of money.
Yeah, that's the expensive part. Is the you shut up about it.
Yeah.
Don't ask
That'd be
where or
like
how.
a
So
street rise roll or something, or we can just do that.
well, first off, I need to ask, where exactly are you taking her? To Rick's penthouse? Because she's just gonna absolutely love that if you do that.
Yeah, if she was in a better position to argue about it, maybe the clubhouse, but since she's not, the penthouse.
Okay.
Put her in your bed.
Yeah, she's gonna wake up in the master bedroom. When she comes to from consciousness. There'll be like a nice 4-course dinner, and like it'll be done like a it'll have like the decor of a hospital room where all your friends have visited while you're unconscious, and it'll have like flowers and cards and get well soon and like prescriptions from the doctor, and the doctor will have taken care of her and everything, and probably not immediately realize that where she's at until like catches the view out of the window or something.
Like, I know that view.
So, as for Vanessa's question, it would require a role of some sort, streetwise. If you have social connections within the Abbey, you could also go that direction because they certainly have they already have that on tap, guaranteed.
Yeah, we've got the 3 dots in Ashwood Abbey status, and then I've got 5 dots in pro training. I don't know what all that comes with. But I do have a couple of dots in streetwise. So I don't know. Do you want me to make a roll, or do we, or would like 5 dots in pro training plus the Ashwood Abbey status and all that kind of.
Professional training's your military / hacking stuff.
Yeah, you're right. So probably not necessarily that then. Nathan might be the better one for that with the type of company he runs.
Actually, well, yeah, Nathan would probably have an in-house doctor for his men.
I have in-house doctors, but they're PhDs in research, not medical for the most part. Like I probably have some like highly specialized for like cutting certain types of things open, but I don't think humans is what they deal in.
Nathan's is more, setting bones, digging bullets out,
Yeah.
wounds.
So I can assist you, but I feel like Nathan might be better suited for that particular string pull.
So if you want to go ahead and make
Sure,
a
what's the
roll,
roll?
or spend a dot in is it allies or contacts? I forget.
Well, the allies is
I
PMC. The contacts, I have the one for the weapons dealers. I haven't actually chosen the second one yet because I didn't know what to take. I was gonna choose it as it on the fly. I mean, I could certainly.
Contacts won't do anything for you.
That's right. That's just information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So this would be allies.
Okay. So I have 5 dots in allies.
You can definitely pull a favor in there. I mean, that doesn't require a roll. That just allies do expect you to do something in return for them, though.
I
Generally,
paid them very well.
So, in that case, you will be sacrificing another dot. Or wait, no, your other dot would have come back since Chloe's out of.
Yes.
So you'd be sacrificing another dot here.
Okay, that's fine. I can do that. She'll be so appreciative of me spending money on her.
So as
I've learned that is not the quick way to Nora's heart.
as we kind of skip ahead a little bit because not much is going to happen on this helicopter ride.
Probably not.
As the chopper touches down at the penthouse, what is everybody doing? I'm assuming Vanessa's probably the one carrying Nora out.
Yeah, I'm probably like one probably fretting the most about it.
Mama bearing.
Which is a bit unusual for Vanessa to care so much about something. Yeah, she carries her out of the helicopter, tries to I guess take her to Rick's room or whatever. Rick can sleep in the couch tonight, for all I care.
He's got like 4 other rooms.
Yeah.
He does, but
I own like 2 floors of this place. It's fine.
but yeah, Vanessa probably doesn't spend a whole lot of time other than just watching over Nora. Yeah, just worrying and fretting a lot. Probably trying to help with getting the medical help she probably needs. Last time I checked, she had some aggravated, so that's always serious.
That stuff.
Nathan, it doesn't take you too long to get off the phone. Basically, with the answer, doctor will be there in roughly 30 minutes to an hour.
All right. Yeah, he'll be here soon. 30 to an hour. So get comfortable. Stop drinking because he's probably going to check you out too. So
Probably has to take off my plate
I look
armor.
at it,
It's probably
I look
covered
at-
in all sorts of slime.
I look at my drink and I look where I'm bleeding through multiple places, and I look at my drink and I'm like, fine. Stupid.
you'd be leaking alcohol from those wounds.
Well, it's that or leak oxycodone. I don't like being hit, Nathan. It's not part of my job description.
No, it's not fun, is it? I'm not normally, frontliner kind of guy, so I don't normally. It's not my job to get hit.
Nope, mine
I'm
neither.
supposed to be way in the back.
I talk to people. That's. Nope. Mm-mm.
I didn't like my time in the front.
Mm-mm. No. They spent a lot of money on me. That would have been wasted if I'd have been up front getting hit.
I mean, I went in front because, that's what the grunts do when they're just starting. They go to the front.
Yeah.
I am so glad I'm such a good shot and they put me in the back.
How angry is Nora going to be when she wakes up and she realizes where she is? It's going to be glorious.
Vanessa, you hear that as you're
I'm pretty sure she'd rather be in a dumpster than this place.
The best part is there's going to be like several dozen like bouquets of flowers that are like all get well soon, and every one of them is going to have a card from Rick. And anybody else who sends flowers, Rick's people have instructions to pull their card out and replace it with a card from Rick.
Oh wow.
I don't think how this
Wow, you're very. You really don't want to have a good time here, do you?
There, at certain points, a GM can't ask for anything else from a player, and I feel like this is one of those moments. So we're gonna move back over to Victor here. Victor, you are now looking at roughly 5 people. 4 of them are, I don't want to say weapons drawn, not quite yet, but they have hands on, they have hands on pistols, etc., ready to draw.
Greetings, gentlemen. Kind of straighten what's left of the undershirt a bit. I have to apologize for my attire. Things got a bit messy in there.
Oliver kind of sighs. So, our target's dead. You claim this place is infested, or something like that.
Beyond your wildest imagination.
What do you plan on doing about this?
What I always do. I solve the problem. And I'm going to solve this one. Permanently. The situation is contained for now. The point of interest is rather tenacious, shall we say. You and your men, try as you might, will not kill it. It will not die to conventional means.
And do you forget what we are?
Oh, please, you and your little mind reading, your clairvoyance, please enlighten me on the capacities, the breadth of your mystical power. Please tell me how you can kill the unkillable. Actually, no. I don't really need to know, nor do I care. If you think you can handle this situation, if you think that you are in control, by all means. All your evidence is in there. Jasper is deceased. What information he has on him is in there. He's spent God knows how long in here setting this entire death trap up. I'm sure there's plenty of evidence in there. It's just a matter of you and your men going in there to get it. And if you are confident, if you are comfortable in this situation, I'm in no condition to stop you. By all means, go on in. Take a look around. Handle this.
Oliver takes a deep breath. Unfortunately, because you weren't able to take the subject in alive, the information we needed, who he worked for, is probably not going to be logged in on some piece of paper, placed nicely on a table for us to get. We were probably going to have to rip that from his brain itself. However, a dead brain tells no tales.
Well, it's nice to know that your abilities are rather disappointing, I'm afraid. I really thought you and your men were capable of more. At least you gave the appearance of capability.
Actually, hold on one moment here. Oh, here it comes again. What is... this would be your composure here.
Just straight composure.
Just straight composure.
All right. Let's see here. I do have the Indomitable merit. Is this a situation where that would apply?
What's the exact wording?
Let me find it.
Yeah, on page 45 of the core book.
Let's see here. The powers of the supernatural do not shake their resolve. They are resistant to a monster's attempts to scare or manipulate them. They've learned how to stand up to a vampire's mind control, how to thwart a warlock's charms, and how to ignore a ghost's scares. Anytime a supernatural creature uses a dread power to influence your character's thoughts or emotions, add 2 dice to your pool to contest their action. If it's resisted, subtract instead. This merit,
They're not
this
trying...
merit only applies to non-supernatural, or does not apply to non-supernatural forms of manipulation.
And this isn't manipulation.
Sure.
So go ahead and give me that composure roll, and I will give you my roll.
I will most definitely spend a willpower on this.
All right. So
Goes to...
Who do?
it usually always goes to the defender, so that would be Victor in this case.
Yeah.
I am gonna say you do feel a very strong... It's not debilitating, but you definitely feel like somebody took a hammer and slammed it into your head, and your head's now throbbing. But not enough to actually deal any damage.
Yeah, I imagine the rest of the pain throughout my body does a bit to diffuse the onslaught. And as Victor kind of mercilessly rubs his temples, really now, this is how you deal with this kind of situation. Do you have any sense of public service? Do you have any desire to protect the citizens of this city, of this nation, from threats beyond their understanding? If you have any sense of wanting to protect the people, I am your best hope of dealing with what is in that building. I have dealt with this thing on 2 occasions now, this kind of creature.
At this point, Oliver actually interjects himself and just completely runs over you, so to speak, verbally, of course. He doesn't have a car here. Yes, you've encountered him twice and failed twice. What makes you think you're in any position to say that you're an expert?
Yes, failure is the greatest teacher, don't they say? See, there's a reason I know this thing is unkillable. I tried to deal with it before. I thought that it was dead. And it has, might I say, in some sense, a remarkably admirable quality to, well, not die. But necessity is the mother of invention, and if conventional means will not deal with this, I am aware of other means shall we say. I've dealt with things like this before, things that are already dead, that cannot die. There are ways around this. Jasper, in what little bit of sense he has constructed a ward around this building. However, given that it is Jasper that we're talking about here, I don't imagine that this ward is going to last very long. And if this ward breaks, whether through the result of its own deterioration or the thing inside of there growing exponentially out of control, you are going to have a catastrophe in London. An infestation beyond you or my capacity to deal with. Now, I'm sorry that you couldn't get here sooner. That we couldn't have worked together on this. But we're going to have to deal with this problem. Because whether you like it or not, we have a situation to deal with. We have a ticking time bomb. And I'm not just talking about the monster growing out of control in there. Something maybe you and your men might be more capable of dealing with.
Oliver's been somewhat quiet this entire time. He's been kind of letting you say your piece. Listening. Kind of nodding his head. But it's the type of nod where you could probably guess he's only half listening to you. He is giving some looks over his shoulder. Go ahead and give me another empathy roll.
Sure.
Wits plus empathy.
All right. 3 successes.
If you would have spent that condition, you would have gotten an... Yes, there would have been another beat. You can tell by the look on his face, he recognizes when Talon, the name of that one ability, is being used. And with the way he's kind of glancing over his shoulder, you can tell it's more he's trying to see which one of them hit you with it. It wasn't him.
Mm-hmm. But, was he going to speak?
Yeah, he kind of... He gestures back over to you. His men do surround you at this point. You better speak very quickly, and it better be something other than some thinly veiled insult or some backhanded wording. It better be something real, and it better be something good. Otherwise, I see only one loose end here.
We found a device in the warehouse. Long-range transmitter. We have been doing our own investigation onto Jasper. And he's been a very busy, very naughty boy. I'm talking about what could very well be the equivalent of a terrorist attack on this city. Multiple explosives. We have some inclination of where, but Jasper has been, again, busy and has kept his head down for the most part. But his machinations go far beyond this little warehouse stunt. He has more set up throughout London. More people could die. Do you and your men want to have another bombing in London on your hands?
One of them...
He may be dead, but the threat is not.
And where are these locations?
Victor will inform him that I know of only 2 for sure. But at the moment, I'm sure the rest of my cell is trying to ascertain the location of the rest. Whatever that might be. The device is in their possession. And if you want to follow that lead, you're going to have to bring it up with them.
You see a smirk come across Oliver's face. Pulls out a cell phone. He flicks it open. He puts it to his ear. Yes, good morning. Or whatever time it happens to be. He says kind of absent-mindedly. We've got confirmation that this organization has a weapon that is triggered to several explosives. We don't know if they intend on using it. Please go to these locations, and he begins to list off the entire cell's addresses. Verbatim, word for word. Find out where they're located and arrest them on suspicion of terrorism. And he hangs up the phone and kind of gives a very self-satisfied smirk over at Victor. Thank you. That was actually very useful. It'll finally give me enough pull within the rest of the agency to bring the absolute hammer down upon the Abbey.
Keep in mind, you're wearing a headset that links to us in the cockpit. Because we, at this point in the conversation, we haven't made it back to the... we would still be in the chopper, and you're wearing a headset that links to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't let you guys get too far, because I realized stuff like this are going to change what happens once you land.
Or where we go.
Q are really the bad guys, aren't they? I say we should let this terrorist attack happen just to spite them now. Come on, drop the dead bomb. Come on, do it.
I don't think I'm not thinking about it, but we don't know this yet. We haven't been fully informed just yet.
A bold move there, Oliver. What do you intend to do about the situation back here? And just sort of gestures to the warehouse.
The warehouse back there. I'm confident that you believe it is a threat, and I don't have any reason to doubt your belief in that. I have, admittedly, very little information to go on. You claim the thing is unkillable, you claim there's an infestation. those words are obviously English and have meaning. I understand them from a dictionary point. I obviously don't know what exactly is in there. However, should the agency deem it our jurisdiction, we will take care of it. Trust me, I'm not the only one that will be here to deal with this issue. We may be the only cell currently here in London, but I can assure you that will change. It's at this point that your phone vibrates, Victor. But before you address that, roll me a perception check.
Sure. Let's see, what's in composure? I'll spend willpower on this, why not? Let's see. Oh, 4 successes.
You do see a person with a phone attached to their ear. It's quite a distance off. If you had been paying even just slightly less attention, you wouldn't have seen Quinn. Very clear, maintaining a very large distance, but obviously still very much able to see the situation and understand the kind of predicament that is currently going on. You're also aware that Quinn is intelligent enough to know that there ain't no way in hell that you're answering your phone at this very moment.
He's sending you a warning shot.
And, Victor, the phone, buzzing away in his pocket, is going to, look at Oliver, as the buzzes, the rings continue, cutting through the palpable silence, and just to do a little bit of a stare down with Oliver as this phone continues to ring. He's gonna wait and see if he says anything, considering that they have him more or less surrounded at this point. He's not in a position to make any sudden moves towards his pocket.
Oliver, about at the third buzz, goes, might be your last chance to say goodbye to people before we tie cement shoes onto you and toss you into the ocean.
Is that, is that protocol?
Protocol here's what I deem it to be at this time.
Well then, you won't mind if I take this call, do you?
He shrugs and gestures.
Yeah, why not? Given the situation, let's flip it open and see if anyone answers.
In a very low voice, you just hear Quinn. Looks like you're in a very sticky situation. There's a little bit of a chuckle at the end of it.
Yes. It's good to hear from you again, but this isn't the best time, I'm afraid.
I mean, there's two ways you could look at it. not the best time or the absolute best time.
Do it.
The nothing gets by you, does it? You know, it's good to hear from you again. I was actually hoping that we'd get a chance to talk again soon.
And you see Oliver doing one of these motions. I realize this isn't the way you exactly wanted it to go out, but as Quinn continues to speak, I know originally you wanted me to, so I would have command. This is going to be a very, very overt move here, though. I'm not going to have control over these people once I make my move. But because, go loud, I guess, right? Again, a kind of chuckle.
Yeah, it would be nice to get together and have one more big bash, wouldn't it? One more big blowout party. That would be it'd be a grand time, yeah.
Welp, let's make it a big one. And with that, you hear the line go dead and you see, for some reason, just because it's the most satisfying motion, you see the phone close shut. For some reason, this guy, Quinn, has a flip phone.
Oh, he's that kind of guy.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
And he begins to just, at this point, you can kind of tell he's dropped all sorts of pretense. He is just currently walking towards the group. As he starts getting closer, of course, the people that had surrounded you start, nod over to Oliver. Hey, somebody's coming up. And you see Quinn.
You might want to secure the perimeter.
Quinn removes his gloves. He kind of tosses them to the side. He removes his coat jacket. It's at this point that Oliver just kind of goes, so this is your big plan. You're gonna have some dandy try and fisticuffs me as he gets his boxing gloves out, I'm sure, and he kind of turns over to Quinn. Like, just go home. This isn't worth your life.
Seeing straight for the mummy with all the scarabs, I imagine it's just about to happen.
Short jump cut to the helicopter where Rick is like shaking like a mixer drink. Margarita for you too, Vanessa. You want one? I wonder how Victor's doing down there. Should we send the car for him? I know he said he'd have it, but Victor's fine. He's fine. And pouring drinks.
Victor's gonna repeat something a bit earlier, and just kind of turn to Oliver again. Do you think you're in control here?
And I have to open up a book from a different splat now. Yay. So, Victor, you've never been 100% sure what Quinn was. Or is, I should say. However, as he begins to approach, it seems like from every pore on his body, a locust rips itself out of his flesh. It definitely feels almost plague-like, the amount of locusts that begin to exit Quinn's body. very quickly, in this cascade of beating wings and clattering of mandibles, etc., that is loud enough that it's very close to deafening. You start hearing gunshots going off. You do hear a lot of confusion, a lot of yelling. However, all of these locusts seem to keep about a 2-foot clear zone around you. What would you like to do?
I think in this moment, knowing the condition that I am in, an extended engagement is not in Victor's favor. He's already a bit wounded from that last encounter. And I think in this case, he may just leave things to the professionals. But I think, given that there are firearms being used here, and given the general chaos, Victor's going to try and use that diversion to try and get out of here, get somewhere like with cover, somewhere significant. Not necessarily like running out of the scene, but just somewhere where Victor's less worried about getting hit by, some errant shot or ricochet, stray bullet.
With this being very, very close to the yacht club, and I know it wasn't really discussed beforehand, but this warehouse house has something to do with boats and yachts. There's definitely boats not laying out in the field, not like they've been abandoned, but they are sitting out there, so there's definitely places where you can get cover. As you move there, you feel something tug at your pant leg, though. Does Victor hazard a glance down?
Yeah, why not? Let's take a peek. What's the worst that could happen?
It's a slug.
No, it's the mutilated body of, well, I guess you would say it's the mutilated body of the real Quinn. Barely clinging to life.
Oh.
Hey, he's free now.
It's okay. We're the good guys.
Yeah, we're the good guys. Though, to be fair, Victor never liked Quinn to begin with. He much preferred the thing inside of him. It was a much more agreeable entity. And, this isn't the first disgusting thing that Victor's had to deal with today. It's yet another one of a series of gross things he's going to attempt to shake from his pant leg and make his way to cover so he can phone another friend, shall we say.
Who is Victor calling?
It's at this moment that once Victor shakes free of the soon-to-be corpse of Quinn's mortal shell, he's gonna give the chopper, or at least the team, a ring up behind the safety of the boat as like the gunshots are going off and like the unbearable like buzzing of locusts that I'm sure is deafening in its own regard.
But I picture like imagine you using like the talk box. So I picture like Rick basically like wearing these headphones, but like one ear kicked off so he can hear what's going on, and he's like feet propped up on like the dash, like in the co-pilot seat with a margarita in his hand, probably has taken like a hydro or oxycodone or something for the pain, like blood, and has like an ice pack just kind of like laying over his face. He like hits the button. He's like, "Hey, Victor, what's the? It's loud. Hey, man, there's there's like a lot of background noise."
There's a change of plans, Rick. Do you mind bringing the helicopter back around?
You know, Nora's supposed to be the flaky one, Victor. But sure. Hey, go back. Victor's changing his mind again. Turn it around. Turn it. I'm like at the pilot. I'm like, turn it around.
Realistically, you guys did already drop Nora off, so you guys would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm picturing like a 20 or 30 minute helicopter ride from point to point, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been a minute. I don't know how long that conversation took. So we could be like maybe just landing or something.
Yeah.
I don't.
Just to prevent a retcon here, because you guys did get her set up there. You guys had landed.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably burned fuel and hauled ass to get her back and in a bed before the doctor and stuff. So I'll be like, shit. So then I'll just look at Nathan and be like, Victor would like us to come back now. Nathan, grab the rifle. Let's go.
Thought he had that covered.
Yeah, he is a confident man. Let's go.
Claire's kind of looking around. So do I just stay here?
Yeah, you stay here. Lower floor only. I assume we've like escorted her down. Lower floor only. There's a bedroom over there. There's a kitchen over there. If you look in the freezer, there's a very nicely stacked, organized, and labeled set of Michelin star meals.
And before you finish,
so when you reheat them.
Before you finish, she actually runs up and hugs you, and just says, "Thank you."
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
What are you doing? Get off him. He doesn't need praise.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Just go eat. Go eat. Look, I'm drunk and high right now. I don't need hugs. We gotta go get Victor. There's Nathan. There's shooting I hear shooting. There's shooting.
Oh, well that changes.
Yeah, and like a buzzing sound. I don't know. It's like there's static in the background. Let's go. I don't.
Then I'm
the oxy
joining.
kicked in. You're just gonna leave Nora, Vanessa? You're just gonna leave her there?
Someone's got to be here when Doc comes.
She'll be fine.
Yeah, it should be the responsible one. Here, Vanessa, you stay. You're fine.
You're responsible.
Claire kind of goes, I mean, I'm here.
See, she'll look after her. She's in good hands.
Does Victor mention the whole like they called in stuff on us thing?
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
All right, Victor. All right, we got Nora set up in the bed. Me and Nathan are coming. It's loud. We're gonna bring the rifle. Anything else?
And I imagine like it's probably hard to like hear out like some of this, like it kind of like cuts out or the noise like overcomes the audio at bits. But you hear like bits and pieces of the conversation. Something along the lines of agents inbound, like the situation complicated.
Yeah, the situation with the agent sounds complicated. But we're on our way.
And a bit louder now, maybe compromising his position behind the boat if it already wasn't, kind of like shouting, trying to get over like the noise of the chaos like ensuing beyond. But Victor will say, "Vasco is coming for you!"
Boys, we're all leaving. Come on, get Nora back on the chopper. Everybody load up. We're all going. Vanessa, grab Nora. It's time to leave. Claire, just grab one of the meals, sweetie. There's a microwave on the helicopter. Let's go. We're leaving. Come on.
She
Good thing I grabbed my bug out bag, like my bag.
Let's go.
I mean,
Yep.
you could dump some people in the safe house, but
Yep. Well, there's people shooting around you. We're coming there. Just head up. We'll I'll be right there. 30 seconds. As I walk to a laptop that's closed up nearby. And I'll open it up, type some stuff in, close it, unplug it, and take it with me. Just making sure that if somebody gets here and does some stupid shit, there's nothing for them to find.
and everybody takes off again.
Yep.
purge the hard drives.
I need to.
Yeah. Everything I've got is probably backed up with some pretty serious encryption in some AWS or Google Cloud stuff that is absolutely in no way connected to anything that's ever been connected to me in any way. And so I'll just burn everything local and head out.
All right. So do we have some place we're gonna wind up eventually? I need to, call Doc and tell him change your plans. Go here.
That's a fantastic question. And then he walks off.
Well, they're used to changing plans. We'll figure it out.
I'm assuming you're immediately calling up the doctor, being like, "We ain't
Yes.
gonna be here in that time frame."
You're late. We're moving. Location will be coming soon. Just be ready. Yeah. From simple, because I don't have a destination.
Nope. No, we're gonna spend a lot of money though. It's fine.
Money can move mountains.
Literally.
Maybe spend some time outside the country for a bit. I hear Ireland's nice this time of year.
I'm proud of you, Vanessa. I'm proud of you. I didn't take you for the manipulative type.
She has some manipulation, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of you. Let's go pick Victor up and head north, maybe.
So,
Yeah.
this, as we kind of established, this chopper ride takes about 20 to 30 minutes when you're just hauling straight there.
Imagine so. Yeah. Right around in there.
After about 10 minutes, Victor, the sound has died down. You still hear the occasional flittering of wings. But it seems like the vast majority of the swarm is gone. And it's not like, oh, it's been quiet for like a minute or two. It just started getting quiet. So, care for a look-see?
Yeah, as things settle down, Victor will definitely poke his head out of cover to survey the carnage.
So, there are several bodies on the ground. Roughly about 5 bodies on the ground. One of them you assume is Quinn's old body. However, it seems also these bodies have been stripped of all flesh from their bones, leaving slightly reddish-brown tinted bones, skeletons on the ground. And Oliver stands there by himself, hunched over, grabbing his head.
Well, kind of dusting himself off. That was quite the party, eh?
As Oliver speaks, you hear somewhat of a dual voice. One much more chattering, and the other one is just Oliver's voice. Mental fortitude is very, very strong. Resistance is... And there's a good, 5 to 10 second breaks between almost every word.
Victor will approach this struggle here. I suppose I can be of some assistance. I don't suppose this will be any easier if he's incapacitated.
Jacket. Get jacket. Flask in jacket. Addiction might be useful.
By all means. Victor will kind of scurry over, trying to find this flask, and help with that little endeavor. And Victor's no stranger to feeding addiction. He's spent a long time, perhaps trying and failing, perhaps, to help Vanessa with hers. But you know, there's times to indulge and there's times to hold back, and this is definitely a time to, I don't know if you can call it indulge, but yeah, Victor is not going to go easy on the hooch, I suppose, and do what he can to force the beverage down his throat.
As you get this flask, you realize the flask is already opened, and as you touch it, you realize that your hand almost becomes stuck to it, and as you kind of pull your hand back, you can tell that it's covered in honey.
A little more difficult to pour, but we can work with this. You know what? Victor is going to do his best to put the mouth of that flask or bottle, as it were, into his mouth and hold it there as the stuff drips in.
As you do so, you find it to be much easier because, well, it seems like whatever creature is inside of Oliver now extends two very large mandibles from the open mouth of Oliver and basically clamp down on the backside and force the entire flask down Oliver's throat.
Oh dear, that might give you a bit of indigestion.
At this point, Oliver's body does go limp, however. Not quite sure if it's the concoction, the honey-like concoction, or if it was the sheer fact that this thing just made a human being swallow an entire alcohol flask. That might lead to incapacitation. At this point, not very sure. But Oliver lays motionless, seemingly still breathing, though you do notice his skin is writhing somewhat abnormally.
It's fine.
I must admit that's not quite what I expected, but remarkable, I must say. are you all right in there?
There's no response. And there isn't going to be any response until the helicopter, or before the helicopter arrives. So, does Victor kind of just wait around in the area, or...
Yeah.
Somebody probably called the cops at this point. I think I've just seen 5 people die in a suburban area.
It's not suburban.
Oh no, we're like out way on the edge of that island. We're like
The
shipyard.
The storyteller, when we were almost going to die, went to great pains to describe how remote this particular industrial zone was to everything else and all passerbys.
Which is now playing in our favor. The turns have tabled. But yeah, Victor's gonna stay nearby. And Victor's probably not the best at this. But the situation calls for it. Victor is going to use the time that we have here, and more or less, I shouldn't say clean the scene, but move some of the stuff somewhere else. That somewhere else being the best dumpster that he can think of, which is this infested warehouse. And maybe some small element of propriety will find his suit jacket that he had discarded at some point, and remove a little pair of very nice gloves out of there, because I guess we're drawing the line at human corpses at this point of things that he's not willing to touch, and start moving these mostly eaten skeletal bits, and start moving them, throwing them, I should say, into the warehouse. Just he doesn't want the possibility that some random soul walks by and sees Victor surrounded by a bunch of dead bodies. That's a bit suspicious. And we'll deal with the rest of the cleanup later, but getting the bodies out of plain sight is his concern, and he's gonna leave our locust friend to do his business, because that kind of magic and that kind of medicine is beyond Victor's knowledge. But what he does know is being surrounded by dead bodies is not a good look. And Victor, if not anything, is concerned about how he looks.
As you finish the last throwing the last body in there, you can hear the sound of a chopper approaching. And that is where we will go on break. See everybody shortly.
All right.
Bye.
And we're back into it.
Woo!
So we're coming in right as the chopper lands.
See, I imagine.
Chopper.
Imagine we have like camera view before we land, so we see that like Victor's like up and like dragging bodies and stuff, so we're not like jumping out of the chopper like ready to go.
Nathan is. He doesn't know there's anybody else hiding.
So kind of look around, be like, kind of look around and just go and grab the next body and start dragging it in to feed the slugs. I was like, pass Victor and be like, you made a mess.
I didn't know you had it in you, Victor.
We took.
If you're gonna kill them all, you could have let me know.
Also,
We took Vanessa for a reason, Victor.
Also, I need to reiterate, the term body is...
Yeah, it's like skeletons, right?
Yeah, so you're picking up piles of bones because there's no connective tissue.
The hell did you do?
Look over at Oliver and be like, because Oliver's like still standing there, right? And be like,
No, he's
I think
unconscious.
he's still unconscious.
Yeah, he's unconscious on the ground.
The only like intact body.
hey, why is Oliver okay?
And as like Victor like yeets the last like pile of bones into the warehouse, just chucking them on in there.
Victor's like, we got like a tarp with like a bunch of bones on it. We're like together, kind of, and so why is he okay? Holding it up. Rick is way more cool with this than he should be, but you know that's what happens when you get down to poor integrity.
Yeah.
You saving him for us or something?
Well,
Hostage. You said Vasco was after us, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a long story there. Things have just gotten just a smidge out of hand, as I'm sure is evident. Let's just say that our original plan has gone through in a sense. That's not exactly Oliver that you're looking at.
Oh, is that Quinn?
The jump has been made. The process, as far as I can tell, takes some time, an adjustment period, I suppose. He mentioned something about his, shall we say, unique skill set, making the process a bit more complicated.
That makes sense. Actually, I think. Does that make sense?
None of this
I
makes
don't understand
any
any
fucking
of it.
sense. No.
I'm gonna pretend like it makes sense.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Let's all pretend, and let's all do something about that. Pretend, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you said Vascu is coming for us,
Yes, there was.
can you be a little more clear? We just pulled everybody out of the penthouse and left. So like, Nora's over there. We got a doctor on standby waiting on an address. Like,
Are we gonna have to lay low for a bit or something? Like, if we need to get out of the country sooner is better than later.
That
well, if
would
that's
be for the
if that's Quinn and not Oliver, I imagine we can fix this eventually.
eventually being the key word there. I have no idea how long this takes. It could be minutes, hours. I couldn't tell you.
Well, let's assume the worst.
So
What I can tell you is that our erstwhile allies here deemed it fit to pin the blame of Jasper's, shall we say, mischievous activities solely on us. cleaning up loose ends, I believe he said.
That feels short-sighted.
Yeah,
The cops, what do you expect?
Not much. Honestly, have you read the news lately? Like, but
Yeah.
they're not normal. Whatever. So,
A cop's a cop.
And I must express some regret, Vanessa. I'd hoped to enmesh you in this little scheme of mine. I know you were eager for another round with them, but I hope you can forgive me for gestures broadly this.
I like look at all like the bones
proud
and
of you.
looking at all of us sleeping. It's like, I suppose I can live with this outcome. I don't think I could have probably done it much better.
But
I'm not happy, but
But this situation is not irreversible. It's once we can wake up our friend here, we can do something about that. But in the meantime, I do think it's in our best interest to lay low, I suppose.
I don't. Are we headed out of the country, or are we just headed to off-books addresses?
It may be in our best interest to get as far away from here as we can. There was some mention of accusing us of terrorism.
Oh, for God's sakes! Wow,
And
you're stupid.
I can't exactly say who he was on the line with, but there is a chance the mundane authorities are involved. As to what agencies or police is engaged with the matter, that's another story entirely.
It'd either have to be mundane, or they'd have to have somebody coming in from outside to supplement, because he had said earlier he just seemed he seemed way too arrogant to be worried about lying, that these were the only rescue units in London, and they're all dead now. So if he's sending somebody after us, it's either people that need to come in from outside, or it's mundane authorities.
And again, I can't say which. He didn't exactly enlighten me with that information. But regardless of our situation, there's not a lot that we can do in the meantime, aside from, not getting caught, I suppose.
Yeah.
I doubt if Vasco finds us, they're gonna do the whole read our rights thing to us.
Rick will look at Vanessa and be like, Ireland then?
Hey, yeah, I'm down for Ireland if you're down for Ireland.
I mean, we gotta go somewhere, right?
Ireland somewhere. I guess here's
Either-
a question.
Either that or one of your properties, I suppose. Something that's off books, not connected to us directly.
Honestly, Vanessa probably owns some stuff in Ireland. Probably.
Probably.
She's got like a big history. Like her company's like really into like real estate. It's mostly like all European like based. Like with like.
I think
like Ireland's really close, so she probably imagine has a chance of owning some property there. Maybe a holiday home or something.
Given what I heard from our agent here, it seems their files on us were rather extensive. It may be in our best interest to choose something completely unconnected to us. Somewhere, anywhere, at random. I know it's not exactly ideal, but I don't exactly know how well pardon my French, fucked we are, it might be in our best interest to treat this with the utmost of caution, at least until we can reconvene with our friend here. And takes a kind of quizzical glance at the body of Oliver.
Still lying motionless.
You've got as like he heads over and like starts to like lift up the body of Oliver to start heading to like the helicopter, starting to talk a little louder as they get like closer.
As you lift up the body, the best way to describe it is, have you ever held a sack full of loose beans?
Yes.
That's what the body feels like on your shoulder. Like it moves weird. You can almost, yeah, it's very awkward feeling.
Get to make some room. Maybe
weird.
some of those bones went just belonging to the other members of Brasco that are dead.
Like you see Rick like pick him up and like toss him to like do the fireman's carry, and, like picks him up, was like kind of like shifts him a little bit, shifts him again. I was like, this is okay. Sure.
Just
And
pretend.
we're just like,
Pretend.
it's all okay. Everything's fine. This is all normal. I'm gonna go get on my helicopter, and we're gonna leave now. I'm going to make a call and have a very public flight plan. Most of my stuff I can. Funny rules of helicopters. I'm gonna have my other the smaller helicopter. I'm gonna file a very public flight plan with it. That leaves a local airport in like an hour. Let's go with France. It's gonna fly across the channel. That'll maybe we'll go north. It won't.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
South of France. My family has an estate down there. It would be a perfect cover, I think.
Perfect. We'll send it there. So I'll send an empty chopper there. And then we'll head north into Ireland. Okay, this is gonna be complicated. How long? No idea how long. As I like stud him over like a sack of potatoes onto the ground. We're like, nope, no idea.
No.
All right. Cool. I've got some smelling salts. Do you think smelling salts would be helpful here?
Your guess is as good as mine, I'm afraid.
All right, let's just get everybody on board so we can shut the door. The blades are loud. I don't want to listen to that anymore. I need to think. I guess everybody like boards up. And Rick will make a call and have like flight plans for his smaller like little 4-seater kind of deal to fly to the south of France to like the helipad nearby, like within a couple miles of Victor's family's home down there. And then we'll head north into Ireland, I suppose. Until Quinn
I like
wakes
West,
up.
really.
West? I like West. West works.
Hey, West is Ireland, yeah.
I was.
Not to be like Iceland or something.
Well,
Are we on like the very south end of the UK Isles?
it'd be northwest. It is more northwest. If you went straight north, yeah, I mean, you guys could hit Edinburgh.
I for some reason feel like between Rick and Nathan, we would know the closest country with no extraditable treaties between themselves and UK. But I don't. You know, whatever.
I think Ireland would probably be the best one because technically, wait, I forget. Did
There's
Brexit actually happen? I forget.
It did.
Yeah.
It happened a couple of years ago. I know we said we weren't gonna
Yeah.
address whether that happened or yet. So that might limit that. Depending on what time this is set in, that might limit mobility.
Well, regardless, we can still go to the Republic of Ireland because that's different than Northern Ireland. So, we can still head regardless. My wife's texting me as I say I look up, and my wife's like, "Republic of Ireland is separate from UK."
Yes.
I was like, "Yeah. Thank you, baby. I love you."
Yes.
Yeah.
so-
Look,
So yeah, we'll head that direction. Where, we'll head that direction. I
Maybe
suppose.
we can cross the border by car, foot, or something.
We'll do it every.
I think
yeah,
there's
we
a
can-
border check in the ocean or something these days.
Yeah, or by boat, yeah.
Island protocol or something. Yeah.
I don't know. These
make-
are things our characters would know and we do not, but we will make our way to the nearest safe harbor that we are aware of. Bascu has basically raised the flag on us as terrorists, but we don't know who to. And we don't know how widespread. Hey, Victor, don't you have a guy in the Mundanes?
Yeah, I can.
Can you find out how kind of broad this net is? Did they call some of their own and it's a specialty thing, or are our fucking faces are going to be on the 5 o'clock news?
We'll see. I'll give him. I'll try and get in contact with him, but he's not going to exactly be privy to any higher investigations.
No, but that's fine. If he's not privy to it, that means there's not roadblocks and manhunts. So I'm cool with that.
Yes, it will at least give us some
looking for a general
Some
idea of
measure.
scope. Yeah.
some measuring stick. Yes.
Gonna make that phone call then, or are you gonna wait till this bird lands?
No, now, because this makes a difference on where the bird goes.
Yeah. This is a good question. Yeah. Let's go ahead and give the give our friend a ring. See if Inspector Daniel will has the time to engage with me once again.
Inspector here. How can I help you? Victor. Sorry. I've been fielding a lot of calls today. Sorry.
Long day, yes. Same here. Say, have you anything more on the investigation that has been an annoyance, I suppose, in our mutual sides? Have you heard any progress on that from your end?
Oh, and he starts talking about the Deerfoot, and he mentions how this isn't the first time that they've hit private collectors.
This is all well and good, Daniel. I'm actually referring to another investigation. Our friends in the agency.
Oh,
Have you heard anything from?
Rick's watching his clock and is like 30 seconds, 60 seconds.
The blades
like
are
counting.
split it out.
Well, no, he's like counting because if this conversation starts to go too long, he's gonna take the phone from Victor and hang it up.
Have you heard anything from our friends in the agency?
oof.
Anything revolving the investigation regarding us? Any news?
The Alphabet Soup Agency took full control of it a while back, so honestly, we haven't been dealing with it that much, so if something new has come up, it may not have reached my desk yet. But seriously, this whole situation with the Deerfoot, I think I know where we can find your stuff.
Oh,
If it's approaching like 2 minutes, Rick's just gonna be like, beep.
Victor just gives you like a thumbs up from that earlier sort of response. Actually, I should say like a thumbs up, like we're kind of good, and kind of like hold the phone down a bit and just mention that they as far as my contact knows, there hasn't been any progress at the ground level yet.
Hey,
but
yeah, hang the phone up in case he's bullshitting you.
Victor's gonna hold the phone back up and just one more second. Sorry about that. Where exactly?
Very northern tip of France. They have a warehouse that they've been storing a lot of items of value.
Excellent. I'll check in with you later. But thank you for the update. Thank you.
And you kind of cut him off right as he's getting ready to say goodbye. Just to kind of avoid Rick from grabbing your phone, because Rick was grabbing your phone at that moment.
Yes.
Yeah, reaching for it. yeah, cut that shit. We gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, at least we don't have boots on the ground yet. It could be from an agency perspective, or it could just be Vasco.
Or maybe he said that to fuck with you.
That's possible.
Do you think you're better people than I am? Like you reckon he could do something like that?
I reckon they have some sort of connection. I can't exactly say how much pull they have per se, but at least from what they've accomplished thus far regarding our investigation, they seem to have some connections, however tenuous.
Well, I guess as soon as
not enough that I would consider it to not be a threat.
I mean, we could just wait till Oliver wakes up. Well, not Oliver, and ask him, "Hey, what's going on? What's the deal?"
Yes, that is what we're waiting for, isn't it?
Maybe kind of poking Oliver with his foot.
Quiniver? Olivin? Quiniver. It's almost like Guinevere. I like it. Quiniver. I like it. That's where it's at.
Okay. Well, regardless, I do think it's in our best interest to lay low for a bit, per se. Whether that be here or elsewhere.
Ireland.
Are we in the air on the way to Ireland right now?
I assume we're on the way north, and like Rick's probably like calling and having a flight pan scheduled.
Now, have we? Why Ireland? Have we just picked a point on the map, or?
Oh, it's not here, and it's got something to do with her ghosts. Metaphorical ghosts.
Think something's there?
I hope
pull off for the hunt.
I hope the metaphorical. I've had my share of ghosts recently.
Likewise.
You remember the gut feeling thing? There's a gut feeling thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Gut feeling.
So
well,
we can check that out.
You know what? I don't want to be a hypocrite. I said we should all pretend. I will also pretend.
It's all normal.
Thank you, Victor.
gut feeling it is.
Well, we have to get out of the country
The
anyway,
last,
so...
the last time she had a gut feeling, we found 4 duffel bags stuffed full of weird iron shit in the floor of a random house that I burned to the ground. Sorry about
Cool. That's helpful.
that. Yeah. I mean, weird. But
That's something.
yeah, it's weird. I get it. It's like Rick's mixing more drinks at the bar. It's like everybody this time, right? Am I wrong here? Am I reading the room wrong? Is it everybody this time?
Everybody this time.
I thought it might be.
Rick's doing the old 2 shots of vodka and just glugging away.
Yep. We're gonna do. These are gonna be the best Long Islands you've ever had. All the liquors.
God.
So, as this chopper makes its way over to Ireland, it's probably, I want to say, whereabouts in Ireland are you heading? Like Dublin or some other city?
The nearest international airport.
That would probably
And
be
my-
Dublin.
My special gut feeling sense says Dublin.
It did. Is that Northern Ireland or is that Republic?
That is the Republic of Ireland.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to be sure.
We would have to cross the border for that one, but I think to get to Northern Ireland, even with Brexit, we still have to cross the border.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Small border
Republic's where we want to
Yeah.
go anyway. I don't have that map memorized, so.
Yeah, it crossing the border might be a little easier through a land border than trying to get through customs, especially if we have been pinged on any radars.
Well, there's no land border. It's a really complicated system with the whole.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah. The border. If you go to Northern Ireland, despite being part of the UK, you have to cross the border. If you're in the UK, and there's a whole border check for that.
It's a whole weird thing. It's super complex.
Yeah, it's meant to so they're they're trying to avoid a land border because of the whole Troubles thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I feel like this is something that at least our pilot would be aware of, where he could and couldn't go and what the processes would be, because that's why I pay him stupid monies.
Yes.
But not something I know. So we want to get to Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, in a way that will create the least amount of trouble for us.
Mhm.
And hopefully does not involve Rick having to leave his helicopter.
Yeah, I figured
We
that
could try
last
to
part.
illegally cross the border that way. Yeah.
I mean, we're
You got an idea?
Rick's gonna call the old man from the art show. He's gonna pull out his burner phone and call the old man from the art show
Oh.
from Edinburgh. The one from the Edinburgh, from the the HQ.
Braxton?
Yeah, that's the one. Also, Rick's smartphone, it's turned off.
And
By the way, yeah, if y'all didn't remember, Basque phones, cameras is a thing with the cameras. Turn the things with your cameras off, right? Yeah, that'd be a great idea. And he also flips the power switches on any cameras on the outside of the helicopter. We don't want people looking in and seeing stuff. But he's
I
gonna.
assumed we all had our camera, like a lot of our electronics turned off when we learned we were going to be
Yeah,
meeting up with Vasco today. So
Probably just saying it out loud,
Yeah.
so that it's not an assumption.
This isn't our first rodeo.
So, it's roughly about the time that you have left the UK landmass. You guys are still heading to Ireland, right? You didn't just all of a sudden change and start heading towards Scotland, right?
Yeah, no. We're Republic of Ireland. We're heading towards the Republic of Ireland. Probably Dublin, if I had to make a guess. And
Yeah.
we've got
taking a-
flight plans that show like
Quick
like-
Google search says it's about like from London to Dublin. It's about an hour and a half by plane, so probably a bit longer for helicopter.
probably a little bit. Yeah.
So we'll say about 2 hours, about the time that you get out over the open ocean, though. Or, well, open water, I'll just say that. Oliver begins to make some groaning noises and kind of pushes himself up off the helicopter and just kind of the floor of the helicopter and kind of just leans against the wall, hand on his head, just... You can tell he's not feeling very well.
Oh, it lives. I think.
Hell,
Kind of nudges Victor and is like, I think you should talk to him.
Victor will lean in just a bit on wherever we've got him like splayed out. Are you all right? Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, but this guy, oh,
Rick just like puts a Long Island like on the floor next to him, and then like silently and just kind of walks back up to the co-pilot seat.
I don't know how long I'm actually going to be able to stay in this body, honestly. Oh, this is rough. And he actually does grab the Long Island and starts drinking it. But very quickly he regurgitates it back up, but it's this thick, honey-like liquid.
Rick's like, yeah, everybody loves a luck. Okay, well, we're just gonna pretend some more.
Pretend.
Just gonna pretend. It's fine. It's all fine.
The king's nectar, and he kind of lifts it up into the air and then downs it again.
That is. Those are words in the dictionary that would sometimes be said together.
Anything kind of dry heaves in the back.
Victor, you introduce us to the most interesting people.
Yeah, I do keep rather interesting company.
I don't normally do that in public. It is uncouth, but the addiction qualities that the nectar has is somewhat useful in keeping this particular individual subdued to an extent.
Yeah, that. Man, I thought you were like a ghost. This is a whole nother thing.
I thought you were a demon.
I'm not sure he's not.
You could be
I
Dutch.
could regale you with tales of a land once sundered, so on and so forth, but it doesn't mean much to you folk.
I mean, we're hovering in international waters trying to not be hunted as terrorists due to a false flag operation by a secret government organization that nobody knows exists. So, you know,
Yes,
tell your stories. We're pretending everything's normal now.
yes, I'm actually aware of all of that.
He like takes a sip of his Long Island, looks at it, and he just goes, boom, like chugs the Long Island, sets it back down. Pretending.
But yes, I'm actually quite aware of some of what happened. Not all of it, but I am aware of the last few moments of this individual, this Oliver.
So, what's the story on that? Something we need to be doing about that? Something you can do about that?
He kind of pulls out the phone and he starts looking through the contacts. He flips over, obviously, to most recently called as well. Looks like he called his superior in Vasco.
I'm back. Hey, my bad. Bad info.
Whoopsie, got it wrong.
Abort.
That's not how these things work, unfortunately.
I know, red tape and all that.
Even if I were to do that, they're still going to investigate it because they would
But it was
assume...
called it.
Yes, they would assume that I've been... And he kind of looks around. Captured.
Compromised.
Yeah. So,
That's preposterous. You're obviously not.
I'll make sure to send you all a batch of the nectar once I get a collection, or once I get back home.
Speaking of that, you want us to let you we're going out of the country. You want us to drop you off somewhere?
He kind of looks out the window. I mean, right now your only choice of dropping me off is in the water there, and I don't think that I don't particularly think I might be able to make that swim.
Asking. Okay.
So, where are we heading?
Dublin.
I'm sure you have your reasons.
It's not here, and she's got a gut feeling.
I like to follow my instincts.
I don't think we've officially met either. I am... And it pauses for a moment. I guess I'm Oliver?
Hello, Oliver.
For the meantime, at least.
They're all over. Yeah.
As he kind of gestures towards Rick, as stated, pretending things are normal today.
Yeah. No, it's that or go fucking insane. So, you know.
Odd choice.
Yes. Well, so Ireland. I hear it's nice.
Yeah, rest time of the year. It's called the Emerald Isle for a reason.
Yeah.
Very green.
So Vanessa, do you have like a specific spot in mind in Ireland where your gut is leading you?
The airport.
I feel like you're greatly overestimating the details with which her gut feeling provides.
I mean, we're flying to Ireland because of this gut feeling. Well,
You have
We're gonna leave the
reached
country anyway, so
You have reached
Yes.
the limits of specificity.
okay.
We are quite literally flying by the seat of our pants.
Speaking of that, Oliver kind of says, I also hate to mention it, but I do feel like it's important here. What are the thoughts and plans on that warehouse back there? Because it's Victor had expressed concerns about the wards failing.
Did he now?
I thought the wards were fine.
That's news.
You
Victor?
You can call it half a bluff and half a concern, I suppose. Just a little bit of greasing the wheels with Oliver. A little something to, shall we say, give him a cause for concern. But on some level, I have my own cause of concern. This is Jasper we're dealing with. It seems that the wards are indeed holding. It's contained.
So I've got a question. Speaking of, Jasper is a drunken idiot, right? Foolish, egotistical, arrogant, drunken fool. How'd he pull this off?
It's an excellent question.
He managed to keep me from finding him, put up wards to trap that thing, take Claire,
Who kind of
and
waves
get
from
his
the
hands,
back.
and, yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah,
get his
yeah.
hands
Oh,
on
man.
while fairly mundane in technical nature, a pretty decently put together dead man switch that, by the way, I haven't had a chance to analyze. So
Do you mind if I play some more pretend here? If I had to hazard a guess, the last time we met with the Abbey, I had a conversation with a certain someone. Maximilian Strauss. Do you know he had personally sponsored Jasper?
no, that seems dumb. Jasper's an idiot.
Why would you bring him in?
I believe Maximilian referred to him as a tool in some sense.
Interesting.
Again,
Was
he
it-
is a tool, but
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't. I feel like that's yes, but probably no.
Regardless, he didn't seem too necessarily fond of his personal support of him.
What?
Oliver raises.
Wasn't,
Oliver raises a finger real quick and he goes, "That actually reminds me," and he starts patting his body.
Yeah, why did Vasco have a hard on getting this Jasper guy anyway?
He kind of pulls out. He pulls out a small, small sheet of paper that's been folded up like 6 or 7 times. And he goes, "I remember." Vague flashes here and there. He had an actual, apartment in that area that we visited as well. And then he kind of hands whoever's closest, he kind of, holds up a small little note.
what's the note say?
Who took it? Vanessa or Rick?
Well, let Rick take it.
I imagine Vanessa's probably closer. So one of the things, Rick's probably sitting in the co-pilot seat with kind of the headphones half on, half off, and kind of cocked his head, or kind of stands up to move towards it. But Vanessa's closer and snatches it and just kind of sits back down. Rick kind of sits back down, lets Vanessa have it. Or no, doesn't sit back down. Goes to the bar and fixes another drink to help with the pretending.
So, this note has one item on it. And it says, "The heads of the entire Ashwood Abbey London branch."
That's vague.
Vaguely creepy.
That's it?
Hmm. Though he only says London branch.
You know, the one that went rogue.
Yes, the one that we're part of.
So he had orders. I feel like Vascu doesn't make a habit of disseminating formal and direct orders via notes in jackets.
Yeah, like what's this note written on?
This note is. Oh, what's the memory roll? Didn't somebody take?
Composure resolve.
Didn't somebody take idyllic?
I have eidetic memory.
That
As a matter of fact,
that note. Now that you're close enough,
Rick is our smarts.
It's intelligence composure.
well, he remembers every little thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
That note is painfully similar to the note that your list of targets is on.
Like the one we got from like the Abbey Hunt?
The beginning of the hunt, yes.
Do I recognize this as Maximilian's handwriting? Like, does it match like the invitations he sent out and stuff like that, or something different?
None of the notes, at least from the handwritten parts that you have of Strauss's handwriting, none of these notes were written by Strauss. They were written by the same person, though.
Okay. I'll make sure everybody knows that. Yeah, I've got your character recalls details and events with pinpoint accuracy. You do not have to make rolls for your character to remember past experiences. When making an intelligence plus composure roll or relevant skill rolls to recall minute facts from swaths of information, take a +2 bonus. So, that's kind of look at me like that's. Whoever wrote this? They wrote our target lists.
Was there a
Somebody-
logo on our target list? And is there also a logo on this list?
There was
A watermark?
no, there was no watermark.
Okay.
They were just essentially almost little scraps of paper.
Okay.
Very much the pull your winning out of a hat sort of deal.
Okay.
Somewhat quaint in its simplicity.
But the invitations that have been water.
Maybe Vascu's doing their own hunt like we are, and this is his target.
Where did he get this? Where did you get this? Looking at Oliver?
Does it look similar enough that it looks like when you say it's reminiscent of the target list? Does this look like
The paper looks identical. Like it was.
Like it's written on like the same specialty like card stock or whatever they used for it.
Yeah.
Something identifiable.
And as Oliver kind of reiterates, he had an apartment in the area. This was in his apartment. That was one of the reasons why we were so far behind. Was we had found out he had an apartment in the area and we hid it.
So you got this out of Jasper's apartment?
Yes.
so? This Vascu cell was.
I thought
hunting
Vascu was
hunters.
giving like he was. Never mind.
So
They were
Jack-
hunting hunters. They're part of the games. They're a layer we didn't know about. We're being hunted while we're focused on the hunt. So why would Maximilian Strauss invite entire cells to a set of games typically only participated in by individuals, and then bring in Vascu to hunt those cells?
No.
No, I think
Our guy. That's his
Jack-
target list. We're the target.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Not
So
we're not
Oliver.
Jasper's target.
Well, this is Oliver. Oliver has on him a target list.
That he
That
took
is-
from Jasper's apartment.
yes.
Yeah. That's,
That-
Okay, I missed that part.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
The target,
I'm sorry.
The target list
I-
was given to
originally thought-
Jasper.
Yeah, originally I thought this was a Vasco node.
That's I missed a point there. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes that okay. So
Oh,
So
really?
at least-
So Maximilian is sponsoring a guy with the same kind of hunt that we're doing, but his targets are the heads of the London branch, is what it's sounding like to me.
then is the Wendigo stuff on here? Is Wendigo on here?
No,
Or anything that could be interpreted as Wendigo?
no.
Because Jasper and his cell flew to America, hunt and killed the Wendigo, brought it back, and hosted a dinner. We're very proud of the fact that they'd made something on their list.
Maybe
It's,
that wasn't a Wendigo.
it's possible. It's also possible these
It was.
instructions could have been received after that that event, or perhaps the initial hunt was merely a ruse, perhaps something to establish an alibi, perhaps some passing interest in the game.
Didn't our friend Maximilian recently decide that for reasons undisclosed, he would be taking a leave out of the country for a while?
He did mention something of being out of office, shall we say.
Bit on edge.
Maybe. Maybe there was another cell that got the Wendigo as, or something akin to it, as their target, and they just killed that team and then claimed the Wendigo as their own.
Maybe.
It's possible.
It would explain, somebody hunting a Wendigo. They have to go to the Rocky Mountains, north central United States, northeastern United States. They're gonna have to go up in there somewhere. They're gonna be isolated, away, disconnected. They're a good first target. You let them fight the Wendigo while they're hurt and injured. You clean them up. Then you bring the Wendigo home as a cover. They sent me a text message when they killed the Wendigo, a taunt of sorts. Them in the picture with it.
I don't necessarily buy into that theory. I'm a bit perplexed why they would take an interest in eliminating another cell to take their trophy. It seems like an awful lot of...
Not eliminating another cell to take their trophy, but if their list was the heads of everyone in the London branch, the first cell to take, that's the most vulnerable, the most out of pocket, the most disconnected, and you need a cover. We don't actually know everyone. Does Rick, with his eidetic memory, know of a cell that was there at the initial event where we got all our lists that was entirely absent from the meal with the Wendigo, or from the especially since he was paying attention to the cameras, from the photography and gallery event?
This does seem like this is leaning into more minor things, because so I will go ahead and say you do need to roll on this one, but you still get the +2 from your merit here.
All right, so that'll be that is are we doing intelligence and composure, or are we doing some sort of other relevant skill?
No, this is going to be straight intelligence plus composure.
Okay, let's go ahead and burn my very last willpower because we haven't had a night of sleep yet. They get +3, and then I get +2 as well. So that's 5. So it puts me at a dice pool of 12. Two successes.
2 successes. Well, that is enough. Yes, there have been members missing. Not a huge amount, but definitely you would assume out of the number of cells that were originally part of the games, roughly a quarter to half haven't shown up either to one or both events.
Though, need I remind us, we may have also contributed to that thinning of the herd.
A bit, but not that much.
Yeah, not to that extent.
You know, our wild friend took out one cell, but that's those numbers. I'd not given a lot of thought before, but that's a lot. Jasper Cell's been hunting people. Been hunting us.
If they went to America and like did that, like they probably didn't clean up very well after themselves, since, you know, like they weren't gonna be like, what Abbey cell is gonna go to the Rocky Mountains, the hunt.
They wouldn't have cleaned up because there would have been no need to. I mean, anything you leave behind, and I think I remember, just to make sure, Storyteller, Rick rolled really well on the Wendigo like lore stuff, right?
Well,
we talked about like being from America and stuff like that. Yeah, so because I think that came around like after I'd put occult in my thing, so I actually had a decent roll. Wendigos, they're in places they're in are isolated, remote, and wild. Anything they left behind, it's not there to find anymore. It's, if we could even find the place, the scavengers, coyotes, raccoons, possum. I mean, it's gone. There's nothing there.
All right.
They become what they become because they get trapped in these places, and the hunger takes them before death does.
Well,
And
maybe we could like ask around like the local area, like people probably would have seen them come through.
I think we perhaps have more pressing concerns a bit closer to home. I think we might be pretending a little too far.
Yeah, the chances of them
this game.
the chances of them stripping the metadata out of their pictures before they sent it to me are pretty slim. So lat long of where they took the picture actually is probably pretty easily available. Once I can open up my laptop, I can probably pull the information on time, date, latitude, longitude, etc. And know, but I don't know that does us any good right now. Where they've been is kind of irrelevant. They're all dead now. We care more about why. What about Braxton? You seem to know a lot, right?
Who's
What are you
Braxton
calling
again?
him?
I was going to, but you
Grayson.
know,
Grayson
Quinn woke
Baxter.
up. Yeah, Quinn woke up.
By the way, do you want us to call you Quinn or Oliver?
Or Quinevere.
I don't really have a preference when it comes to names. I don't
Quinevere.
care. I usually just use the name of the host that I am currently in.
Okay.
Oliver it is. I don't like it, but we'll do it.
It's simpler.
First, so Oliver, Vasco had mentioned they could like track us through cameras and stuff. Can they still do that?
Give me a moment. Sorting through his mind is not necessarily the easiest thing. It will take me a moment or two to pull that information.
We at least know that the person that was spying on us originally was part of that original cell. Like, we saw the whole nosebleed thing, and he's dead now.
Right. That's why I'm asking
And
if we can, use our electronics.
didn't we get like, weren't we told something to the effect of, like they had to know about the camera or have seen it before, something like that? Am I making that part up?
I think it was that the target has to be near a camera.
It has to be. Oliver is kind of muttering, line of sight of camera. As long as camera or small animals can see each other, can hop between. Basically, think of it as bouncing between things that they can see. So if there's a rat in that corner, they could theoretically hop to that rat, and that rat sees a camera. They could then hop to that camera, and then that camera sees a bird. They could hop to that bird.
They hop to a person?
Small animals only.
Okay. Well, I don't think Rick has rats in his helicopter.
No.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is, like, if we cross an ocean, they can't follow us.
I mean,
Not by that anyway.
I mean, like fish to bird to camera in city that you happen to be in. I mean, unlikely, but it is possible. But
And they'd have to know where we are and know of the camera nearby, right? They can't just be like, in their head, be like, camera near Rick. Nope, there isn't one. Or, yep, there is one. Like, they can't do that, right? They need to know.
It needs to be line of sight.
All right, let's put a piece of tape on your camera.
And we know that they necessarily can't be doing it constantly. Like, that guy was like getting an active like nosebleed from using it. Like, we can probably assume that they can't, like, it's a person doing it. Like, they probably can't maintain like a continuous feed like 24/7. Like, the guy's got to sleep, eat, use the bathroom, whatever, assuming he can exert himself like for that long regardless.
And assuming they have another one of those guys doing it.
Yeah.
Because as you said, first guy is not here no more.
We do, Oliver, I know you are going through a lot right now, racking through a lot. Do this superior that he's called in any of the memories that you've had an opportunity to rifle through at this point, do you have any inclination on if any of these members are within the UK, as it were, or are we dealing with something further away overseas, perhaps?
The best answer I can give you at this moment. This is a worldwide conspiracy. So, it'll take time for me to parse through the memories.
Fair. Don't rush yourself.
Interesting.
Do I need to be worried about my daughter?
Is that directed? Who's that directed at, or is that just an open air
Toward-
question?
Kind of directed toward Oliver, but also open air.
Probably.
I mean, the best I can answer is from what I know about legal actions and the like, she would be held as a person of interest and would definitely be used as leverage to bring you back.
Okay, I'm turning on my phone now, Rick. I have some calls to make.
Rick will be like, hold up a finger, like dig around like a thing, and then like pull out like another burner phone and toss it to him.
All right, yeah.
How many of those do you have?
All of them.
You literally can at like resources 5. You can just have like an infinite supply at some point.
It's like an $8 phone and a $100 prepaid card. Like I have them everywhere. I've probably gone through and no. At this point, like I'll pull this one out, flip it open, and like take like a little piece and like stab the camera, like smash the camera lens, so it's like broken, and then toss it to you. Damn.
New step.
Yeah, we're gonna have to adjust my preparation routine now.
So get some burners with no cameras now.
They don't make those. I have to remove them now.
You're in a
Very
tech company
frustrating.
making a
Yeah.
phone that doesn't have a camera in it.
You make one.
I make monster weapons.
Please, just put a piece of tape over the camera, something.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, but he broke it, so yeah, I'm calling people to go get my daughter.
All right. So, at this point, Ireland, the coast of Ireland is coming into view.
If I got any word that the helicopter headed to France even made liftoff,
You
or
would
was
have.
it? Oh,
Well, your phone's off, so you wouldn't have.
yeah, no, I wouldn't have. You're right. I'll cover up the camera on it and turn it on for a couple minutes, just so I can like let messages come through.
Yes, the helicopter has taken off.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. I don't think they're watching too hard. Maybe they're going wherever he told them to go.
I believe-
Any alerts on my penthouse? Alarm, motion, movement? I'll flip through the cameras on it.
Not
People inside.
yet.
Man, it's been a couple hours, right?
An hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah. Whoever
Yeah.
it is, they're moving slow.
Finding a place taking it out, maybe.
Maybe.
But
Maybe they're just not nearby.
we know they only had 5 agents in London. It probably
they're-
will take them some time to move assets.
He probably did not expect you to be able to relay any information.
Probably didn't
If I had
expect
to
to be
guess.
taken over by
Nope.
my new
Nope.
friend.
Nobody expects the Quinquisition.
That
No.
was bad, Rick.
No.
You
Even
need another drink.
I've been pretending so hard, but that's a stretch too far.
You've broken my immersion, Rick.
Oliver just shakes his head. Is it is it
I'll make
legal
another
to
drink.
is it legal to throw him out of his own helicopter for that?
Are we in international waters?
No, I think we just entered Ireland's waters.
So, nah, not anymore.
Nah.
If you,
Oh, I
know
wouldn't
what?
do it. I
I'm
wouldn't
just
even
gonna-
try.
I'm just gonna pretend. Wait, you killed how many Vascu guys did you kill?
I mean,
I think
6 in total? Oliver and all 5 of his people?
I think
Or is
there were 5 total. I think he was the leader, and there was 5 total. Is that correct?
I believe I always said it was 5 total, including him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My fault.
We had
Yeah,
5
yeah.
bodies to clean up, but one of them was probably Quinn's.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you But you can't swim to Ireland?
The term "you" is when you're dealing with individuals such as myself, the term "you" is grossly understated.
We're still pretending here.
And at this point, he lifts up his hand, and almost from every single pore in his hand, a locust begins to like push its way out, and then he retracts it back in.
Would you not with that, please?
What the hell are you?
Please. I don't know. That's hard
That's
to
a
pretend
hard
away. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I told you that most of what I would tell you about what I am would mean very little. We'd be talking about stories passed down from time immemorial almost.
As much as I'd love to hear all of that, I don't think we quite have the time, unfortunately.
Probably not.
Like that bug guy from Men in Black. What's his name?
Will Smith.
No, the other guy.
The other guy?
Man.
Nobody knows who the other guy
Man,
was.
man.
It's,
Edgar.
Edgar.
The bug.
no, Tommy Lee Jones, right?
No,
No,
we're talking about the
guy.
Bugman from Men in Black.
Oliver, you watch
I was like-
movies?
I was like 12 when that movie came out. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways,
My apologies, Oliver.
can we move on? We were pretending, weren't we?
Still
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to. You're messing it up. Okay, so he called his superiors. They're moving very slowly.
Or this might
Even
be
if you
quick for
try
them.
to call them off, they're probably still going to investigate. But they're probably investigating to start with. What were they investigating? Have you gotten that? Have you crawled into that detail?
I believe Victor had already addressed that. You were called terrorists. Something about an explosive device that is in your possession.
No. Yeah, that's not us. We don't own an explosive device. We have a dead man switch that I disabled that's connected to an explosive device that some dipshit set up that we don't know where it is. And I can't imagine much of a misunderstanding over that.
No, something to add to this little conversation. I know so much has been going on. There was a mention that Vasquez was trying to get to Quinn, to get to someone else.
Oliver.
Oliver
They're
was
all
trying to get to
investigating.
Jasper.
Yes, Oliver was trying to get to Jasper.
Yes.
He wanted-
Jasper to get to someone else.
He wanted Jasper because he thought Jasper knew something about someone else.
Yes. They wanted to get Jasper to interrogate him to learn about someone else behind this. He was just, for lack of a better word, middleman in this.
So who? Why? Was it Strauss? They wanted to know who Jasper was working for, right? Well, we know who gave Jasper the list he's got. We know who sponsored him. We know that the London branch has been off grid for 5 years. Strauss has been in charge the whole time. We know that Strauss went out of country recently, that he has other things in motion in other places. We know that Edinburgh is suddenly interested after running across the fact that London is in fact not grayed out. They're a clickable option, if you will. Did I call Braxton?
I don't think you got the chance to.
I was saying, should I?
Oh, should you?
That could
Well-
be helpful.
I do remember you had set up a way to basically farm their phone numbers.
Yeah, like,
However, you also remember that his phone, with a single press of a button, was able to corrupt not your system, but the entire network, essentially.
yeah, but he also responded in text messages to me after he did that and after he left.
You, if anyone, should know that they are equally capable of using burner phones themselves.
Yeah, but my point is, after he did that, after he left, he still responded to messages like an hour or two later. So he didn't trash the phone immediately. And I did what he asked and did him a couple of favors in the process of that. I kept my mouth shut. I did him favors. I pulled tails off. I trapped Strauss so that he couldn't follow.
Well, if there's something we want to go down at some point, I suppose we can make a trip at some point, try and reconnect with one of the other branches.
Just wondering how much information he may have to share about it. If he obviously knows more than he's probably been given credit for. And maybe he can give some insight into Maximilian Strauss, whom he seemed to know and be familiar with. He knew of him at the least.
And this is when the helicopter touches down in Dublin. And where we're gonna call it here. So, we'll go ahead and take the time here to do this on stream. My usual round of questioning. Vanessa. Too much talking.
Vanessa. Yeah, a lot of talking this session. Yeah. Vanessa's got mixed feelings. On one hand, like a whole bunch of Vasco agents died, so she's like happy with that. On the other hand, it wasn't her that did it. She's kind of a little bit miffed at Victor that he would do it without her, but I guess he was in a bind. Yeah. As Grog, very interesting developments. Well, it's making us really, I'm really starting to think who we can trust in this. Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Victor.
Yeah, Victor is once again scraping through these things somehow and coming out on top. And I imagine he was riding pretty high after dealing with Vasco, or at least the local branch. But given the developments we've had on this helicopter, as we've had the chance to speak with now Oliver, things have gotten complicated. And Victor's not exactly excited about this new development and doesn't see an easy way out of this. Not just dealing with Vasco, but dealing with the internal threats that we may now have within the Abbey. There's definitely some concern there. And I think on some level, despite everything that we're going out on a limb for, at some level, I think he probably thinks it's for the best to get away, not just from Bascu, but from the Abbey. At least to buy us some time to think.
How you doing, Genesis?
Good, yeah. Yeah, definitely interested to see where this thing goes. And yeah, having fun.
Rick.
Rick's starting to feel like more in his element, because like the whole counterintelligence and intelligence and subterfuge and disinformation and stuff, that's literally what he did for a living for a very long time. He's very well trained at it. And so he's looking forward to, I think, getting to a place where he can start ringing those contacts and leveraging that 5 dots in professional training towards that, and start ringing some of those contacts that have come out of that, and start using some of his computer skills to narrow the scope and do a bit more pointed research on things and start trying to dig stuff up. So yeah, he's good. Not really that fazed by what happened, truthfully. That's what happens when you fail a bunch of integrity rolls and breaking point rolls, is you get jaded. So some of this is a bit weird, like locust pores. That's a thing, but by that point he was already on Oxy and like 3 Long Islands and a margarita, so glad he's not flying the helicopter. But yeah, no, he's drunk, high, bleeding, but they're quickly approaching a thing that he's very comfortable doing. So.
And how you doing, James?
I'm having fun. Yay.
Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan is having an interesting time. You know, just kind of had his ass handed to him by this thing, and then next thing you know, he's a wanted man. So yeah, so it's just kind of he's not out of his depth, because, you know, being with Rick in his past, he knows that Rick is good at this kind of stuff, even if Nathan is not very good at it. So he's kind of looking forward to you know, watching Rick work, do his thing, because that's always entertaining, watching people just give away their secrets without even realizing it. And then there's this thing that we're in the helicopter with that's apparently made of insects, some kind of Men in Black alien monster thing. That's creepy. That's one of the weirder things he's seen in his life.
At least it's not trying to kill him.
Yeah, it's not trying to kill him yet. So.
How you doing, Poot?
Ooh, this is good. It's getting complicated. The rabbit hole goes deeper. So. Ooh, this is getting cool. I like it.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.